talk fast anyway.
Right.
Okay, make sure everyone looks good in the camera. Alex, turn your body positioning a little bit more forward, yeah, just a little bit more like that, like casual. And you can have as many drinks or whatever as you want.
Welcome to the pod. Okay.
Okay. Welcome to the Ultimate Face-Off. I'm Britt, and today on Girl Hacked, I'm joined by none other than Player 102, Emily Bro, from Squid Game The Challenge Season 2. We're both reality stars, both survivors, barely, and both ready to spill the tea on what really went down. Buckle up, because we're bringing the feud, the fun, and maybe even a little forgiveness.
Aww.
Or maybe not. Let's dive in. So let's get into it. Were we in a feud?
I didn't know we were.
Yeah.
So and then I found out we were.
So you would say the feud is one-sided?
I would say it's
one-sided.
one-sided.
One-sided feud.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw you, basically what happened was we went into the games.
Mm-hmm.
Emily saw this woman and decided that we were mother-daughter.
Yeah.
And in this season, there were undisclosed relationships in the game.
Right.
So everyone's looking around. Like, there was obvious ones, like twins, father-daughter, that we knew about fairly early on. But she really wasn't my mom.
No.
So I got really pissed off.
I was wrong.
Because I did not want to get eliminated over something that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So you started that rumor. It got spread around. And then I was instantly like, she's on the list. Like, there was no one on the list.
Dead to Brit.
Yeah, there was no one on the list but you.
Deathless.
Yeah.
Emily, 102.
I'm making a list. And then when I got out, I was doing my interviews, and they asked me, they said, you know, who would you vote out? And I said, I wouldn't vote anyone out. And then I was like, I would give someone, you know, an advantage or something. And they said no one. And I was like, Player 102. And they were like, well, that was quick.
That's hilarious.
So while I was talking about you, I said that you were vapid. Valley girl. No, I said I had all these like great conversations with everyone in the game. Everybody shared like personal stuff. And I was like, we never talked about anything serious. I never got to know you. I never felt like I like got anything from you. And then to make things worse in my interview, I was like, yeah, she's just vapid and she does this slow little creepy doll blink when she looks at you.
I do that though.
Like, no, it's just your way of, like, I noticed it at lunch today. You like look and then you kind of look off and then you look and you were just fast blinking and I was like so mean and I regretted it.
Oh,
majorly.
it's okay.
So
I do have a stare to me though.
That's what I said. And then when I saw you for the first time after elimination, you came up to me, you gave me this huge hug, and I was like, now, was I imagining this whole thing? Like, it was a different person. So then I started to be like, maybe she just had like a motive in there and like a whole plan. It was just different. I mean, you were a little drunk, but that could have helped.
That was
no,
fun.
but like I instantly felt like a warmth, and I was like, I may have made this whole thing up in my brain. Like, so we talked a little bit about this, but yeah, it's one of those things when you're an adult, feel free to like change your mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I got out and I was like, okay, I was actually really wrong about this. And then remember, I messaged you and I was like, okay, I have some things I might need to clear the air with. I didn't want you to be surprised.
Yeah. You know me, I don't care.
But yeah, you were just a girly swirly.
I was a girly
around,
swirly,
having a great time, and I was like, she's got it out for me.
I didn't have anything out for you at all.
And there were so many times. Do you remember when I thought I was going out because of my Ganji?
Yes, absolutely.
She came and sat down next to me.
I did because I really didn't want her to get out.
Yeah.
Because Debbie, your mother,
you loved me naturally.
Your mother said, "Oh, she did so bad at Ganji," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it probably is her if everyone keeps saying she did so bad." So I was like, "Oh, at least I'll be there because I actually really liked you."
They're gonna show that scene. You come and sit down. You're like rubbing my shoulder, and I'm literally like, "The fuck?"
I know.
Like, I'm like, "What is going on here?" So, yeah, you just seemed different to me. And then I was like, okay, well, you know, one thing about me, I will change my mind if presented with new evidence. And we've connected. Everything's fine. I'm really sorry about what I said.
You're
I
okay.
can apologize for this impersonation.
Thank you.
You'll have to, that'll be your new thing.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Merch line, creepy doll blink. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, Emily, first impression of the dorm set. You went in there, like, what did you feel and see? Because mine, we'll talk about it, but.
So when I first went in, I was like, it looks exactly how it does on television.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is different.
100%.
It's legit.
100%.
And I was ready. I was like, I better win that first comp so we can actually sleep in here tonight.
Yeah. And I don't know if you were in there. One day we were in there and we were like, you know what? Maybe this is just like they want it to look dirty, like it's painted on. They painted the grout filthy. So we got a piece of toilet paper and went and wiped one of the tiles, and we're like, oh no, it's disgusting in here. Like, people kept joking and saying they haven't cleaned it since, like, season 1. But it was incredibly immersive, truly.
Oh, yeah, like, for sure.
I just remember going in and the noise of 456 people in one room, the heat, you're on television for the first time. It was an out-of-body experience.
We have to remember that hundreds of thousands of people applied, and we're the most extroverted people in the world. Not just the United States.
Yeah.
The world.
They kept giving us that. They were, like, saying different numbers. They're like, out of so many people, you guys, and I was like, I know. Like, I've always known I was special, but, like, no. No, it was really fun. And I think, too, something that people will think is, if you picture yourself going on reality TV, we know that last season, what was it, 60, 70 million viewers?
I don't even know.
It was a huge number.
Like that, yeah.
So you know it's going to be probably an even higher number.
Absolutely will be.
And you're thinking, like, when I go on, I'm going to be
crazy.
so hyper aware of every camera.
And you don't even realize that they're there, like, at all.
It takes about 5 minutes. There's no way for your brain to worry about all of that. So it becomes immersive just even because of that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, I thought, like, maybe when I saw you, I was like, maybe she just had a strategy. And I told them, I said, if anyone came in here with a freaking plan, it was Emily. I was like, she had a whole game plan. She was, like, plotting the whole time.
That is hilarious. If anyone came in with one, it was not me.
Yeah.
I was just living my life.
I didn't have a plan either. People kept asking me, like, what's your strategy and stuff. I was like, literally until I make, like, that top 10, I have zero strategy. I just came in to be myself. There's nothing else to do. Like,
yeah,
the people that we found at the light afterwards, we were all shocked because
and disappointed.
Yeah, because it kind of just made you feel foolish. So many people truly came in with their heart on their sleeve. It was such an overwhelming experience. You let your guard down so quickly, and it shocks everybody. It's shocking. Even you'll say things and you're like, oh my gosh, I would say that to my best friend. I wouldn't say it to 70 million people. But it happens so quickly. And so to find out that someone else was manipulating you and lying the whole time, didn't love that. Yeah.
Wait, can I go over the story of how I thought you and Debbie were momming?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with, are we allowed to talk about the hotel? Well, yeah, I mean, everyone's going to talk about we were in the hotel. We had to go somewhere first.
Sure.
So
if we have to cut it, we cut it.
I immediately get to the hotel, and we have to go do our headshots, and that's where I met you and Debbie. And you guys were sat next to each other, and you looked exactly like each other to me. I was like, immediately in my head, without even you guys talking, I was like, this is a mother and daughter. You guys look like each other, and you're like, like you guys were like, look like you've been with each other for a while. And then you guys started talking, and you guys were like talking about like a past story, and it sounded like a childhood story, but apparently it was just you guys had already met.
Just found it out in the airport transfer.
Yeah,
that was it. Five minutes previously.
But in my head, I was like, oh wow, they definitely are mother and daughter, and they're doing a horrible job hiding it.
We're just in there. I'm like, well, and to make it worse, in Catch, Debbie actually, I was like, I feel like there's something in my nose. She's like, there's some skin, and she starts picking my nose, and I'm like, now they're really gonna think we're, what else are you gonna do? Like lick your finger and like get the smudges off me?
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, you're mother and daughter, aren't you? Like I asked you guys straight up, oh, you're mother and daughter, aren't you? And you guys were like, no. And in my head, I'm like, they're probably lying. But I never wanted to eliminate you. I just thought like that's kind of hilarious if they are.
And we, one of the reasons that I said I was so upset was because Debbie, like, we really connected. And then after that, I was like, if I'm in a group, like I told you, we were not communicating after that. You saw it. Debbie would come up, and I'd be like, hey, well, now I'm going to leave. If Debbie wasn't there and I was there, I'd see her coming up, and I'm like, no, I have to go. You have to go. We were really avoiding each other, and I started to see her feel, like, kind of depressed. Like, she was like, I don't have friends
I ruined it. I ruined it.
And that's what I told them in the interview. I said, Debbie.
And she was constipated the whole time.
Debbie, okay, she said that. She's like, there's going to be clips of me just being like, I need to go poo-poo. I need to go poo-poo. I need to go. I was like, you never stopped talking
I didn't go either the whole time I was in there.
Yeah.
Real truth.
The real truth.
Dirty talk.
No, it's so hard.
I was so scared of the cameras, and I was just, I don't think your digestive system is like locked up. It's like one trauma after the
I'm
next.
like poop shy already. Like imagine putting us on a reality show.
And then the food?
Yeah, it wasn't it.
Yeah, the food was not going to help that at all.
No.
They were feeding us slop. It was awful. Okay, what was your favorite set of all the sets?
Mingle was definitely exactly how it is on the real Netflix show. I was like, this is the real deal. Like, we're in it. We get to lock the door and everything. It's crazy.
What was bizarre, too, is walking into that set, it was so weird because everything before was like you were super nervous and you had no idea what to expect. Like, you really don't know until seconds before. When they open that thing and you're all looking at each other like, wait, what does this mean? What is that? Because there were some, like, Catch that we were looking at the wall for clues. And
no one knows what we're doing.
But Mingle, we obviously knew.
Yeah.
But walking in, there definitely was like something ominous about it. And then once you got through one game, you were like, this is going to destroy friendships, lovers, people. Like it was it changed everything for sure. Another question, what people are going to think, there's so many moments that we kept saying, we're like, people are going to think this is scripted. People are going to think that they told us to, was it scripted?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Like, not one word is scripted.
Nobody was told to do anything, say anything. Like, that's what's shocking is some of these moments you're going to see, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, there were so many times that we were like, they're going to think this is so fake and phony.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, Emily, which player would you never want to be stuck with?
Are you ready for this
Oh
one?
my gosh. Oh my gosh. She literally turns and looks at her.
Going back to New Jersey.
Well, I looked at you because I'm like, you know, because we just talked about this. Sorry, twins, but you two.
Yeah.
I could discuss the story.
Go ahead.
So, I don't know
the twins.
they're going to, yeah, okay.
Which one?
Yeah.
It doesn't, both of them. So, I remember I was having a conversation with, I think it was 432. And we were talking about, because I'm a business owner and the boys do YouTube. And I was talking about, you know, how I own a business, and he was like, oh, I really want to start like a merch company, like how do you start an LLC, like la la la. So obviously I started a million LLCs in my life, so I'm like talking about how you start an LLC, the advertising, how to start a business, la la la. So we're having like a good conversation, and I was like, oh, I'm getting close to these guys. That's why I voted to keep them in. I voted to keep him in. And after I found out what he said about me, I was pissed. I was like, really? I voted to keep you in after you said that?
They worked you.
But yeah, so we were having a good conversation on the cement. Mind you, you don't have anywhere to sit unless you're gonna sit in a bed, and that's awkward. I'm not gonna sit with him in a bed, especially after what he said. But so we were sitting on the cement, and obviously we're sitting there for so long. So when I go to get up, I like put my hand on his thigh to like push myself off the ground, and I guess I shouldn't have done that. But I'm just a touchy person as it is, and so he just mistook it for flirting.
Yeah,
and
but where on his thigh?
Gropey McGropester.
Where
Yeah,
on
he
his
was like,
thigh?
she was like, just right there in the crease.
I know. No, it was like right. It was like it was probably his knee. I put my hand on his knee and put myself up, and then that was that. And then he told everybody I was flirting with him, and he had a girlfriend.
Who did he tell?
Just everybody, because I heard about it from everybody, but after the show was over.
Okay.
Then everybody told me. I was like, because honestly, I'm a very confrontational person. And if
Really?
no, I am. And if somebody were to
No.
I am. Yes, I am.
No, we
if
believe
somebody
it. We
were,
believe it.
if somebody were to have told me that in the show, I would have gone up to the twins and been like, "Hey, like you guys know I have a crush on Carter, right?"
Yeah.
That's another thing. I had a crush on Carter.
Yeah.
He had a crush on me too. But yeah.
True. Everybody knew about that immediately, and then we were like, did they have time to like, consummate that or anything? No. Carter went home day 1.
Day 2.
Unfortunately for you, that would have been fun.
It would have been fun.
You guys could have really played that out.
Yeah.
Did you miss your phone?
Not at all. I am so surprised. Actually, I was a little bit surprised, but not at the same time, because when, like, let's say we're in a real life situation and you guys are both on your phones, then I'm gonna miss my phone. Yep. But none of us had our phones, so it was like all we all have to do is just talk to each other, and it honestly made it fun. And I honestly wish that we didn't have phones in the real world. It made it so much better.
That's what was weird. It really, like, me and Alex are old enough to like know what that was like, but you really did. Jump in the lake, walk around after dark, like do so many different fun things with your friends and people and connect with people in a different way. And it was crazy because so many of the younger people like you guys, you haven't actually even experienced that yet. Yeah. So going in there, it was probably much more emotional and made such a bigger impact on you guys because like we remember what that was like, and it was kind of going back to being like, yeah, we got to start putting our phones away. That's nuts. Like you connect with people so quickly, and there were so many times when you would be in an uncomfortable situation, and like in real life we would have been like, oh, let me just text real quick, or we're always like looking down and scrolling while people are trying to talk to us. We didn't have that luxury. August said, I said, it's so crazy how you can just be yourself in here, and like you really are kind of like letting your guard down. Yep. He said, we're all our true selves because we don't have our phones. And I was like,
yeah, it's true.
Why was that so iconic, August? Like it was true though.
I love not having my phone.
Me too.
Yeah,
That was my favorite part.
It was the
That
best
was my
thing.
favorite
It
part.
was the best.
Well, and you're real estate. Alex does real estate, so he's on his phone constantly. There's a bunch of social media people that were in there. They're on their phones all the time, and they were like, wow, what a break. This was nice.
Yeah, it was great.
What happened when you were crying and having your little minty bee?
Oh my gosh. So I crashed out. Once on the show.
What day was that? Was it early on?
It was literally day 2.
Yeah,
it was
pretty early.
It was day 2, and then after that crash out, I was like, I'm good. I'm back. I'm ready. So my crash out was basically, since there was so many people playing the 6-legged race, that it took so long to film. So they were like, okay, well, you guys basically have a day of doing nothing, and,
Yeah.
And so we were just sitting on the cement floor. I was starving. I eat a lot in the real world, a lot of food. Like, if you guys don't know, I'm in the meat industry. I eat constantly, a lot of food.
Just bratwurst, though. Mainly bratwurst. You're just like...
And so I didn't have that. And especially because I couldn't eat that slop in the morning.
Oh, the morning slop. People are going to ask what the worst meal was. It will always be that because most people could not choke it down. And you're thinking, it's just oatmeal that's not flavored. Of course you can eat it. No. Even as starving as you were,
you can't eat
the
it.
texture, the consistency.
It tastes like it smelled like a booger and it tasted like a booger.
It was so crazy. It was so gelatinous.
So true.
And I would literally have my water bottle at the ready and I'd be like 3 scoops and do this. 3 scoops
I couldn't. Because
one thing about me is like I knew it was going to be a while before meals and you have the heightened stress and all these things going on in there. And I was like, I'm going to puke or pass out. I always eat something small in the morning and I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
No coffee. The no caffeine thing.
No caffeine.
You know this. You know this ahead of time and they tell you like stop the caffeine and then when it really hits and you're like, like oh my gosh.
Yeah. So my crash out was I was just a mixture of starving and we had the cement to sit on and that was for the whole day. And so what really did it for me was I remember a girl asked a producer, when are we going to eat our next meal? And the producer was like, not for a long while. And I literally just bursted into tears because I was like, in my head, I was like 5 more minutes. Like I know we're going to eat in 5 more minutes. I just start bursting in tears. And then all my friends were like, trying to like comfort me and everyone was so nice but
except for Britt.
Yeah, I was over there and I was like, get her out.
I know.
Perfect, she's weakening. Cut her when she's down.
Yeah, I was so hungry and then once we ate I was totally fine and that was it. And then I was totally great the rest of the time. I just had to adjust to not eating as much as I do.
Yeah, it took time. It was so funny because most of us girls, like I went home, my underwear didn't fit, like we all lost weight. And Lizzie kept saying, no, I've never had this much food in my life. Like I'm like this is too much food. I can never finish it. And I was like, but the weird thing was we actually couldn't finish our meals. Most of us couldn't finish it. It was a lot of food.
It was a lot of bland, boring, nasty food that you don't really want to eat.
Something about you got to a place with the textures. Did you eat all of your tin every day?
I mean, not breakfast, but yeah, lunch and dinner.
Really?
Sure.
Okay, well, I guess that's true. A lot of the guys were going around asking for
scraps.
Oh,
I gave Leon my meal every meal.
And Sean said that. He said, I've never had so much food in my life and such good sleep.
Yeah.
I was so jealous of him. Do you remember Alex? Alex was at the top bunk. Sean was across from you. He'd go up at the end of the night, head hits the pillow, and just completely out. And I was, like, down there, like, seething. Like,
I never said this to anyone, at least I don't think. He talks in his sleep. I would turn over and like listen to full-on conversation Sean was having. Sean, you know I love you. You're my favorite person in there, but
that's iconic.
You talk in your sleep, bud.
Oh no, sleep with one eye open, Sean. I'm like, tell us what he said. No, okay. If you could bring one luxury item into the game, what would it have been?
Oh my gosh. Well, the showering situation was so rough. I wish I would just have my deodorant.
Okay.
Honestly.
The deodorant was a hysterical situation every day. People were helping each other. It's a giant bottle with a spray, and it's attached to the wall. So you have to, like, pull the cord out, and you're trying to, like, mingle. And some people will just hold it for you, and you're like, get this, get this.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd be like, okay.
Hit the pits.
Okay. But then it was like, so
gross.
nasty, and, like, just the
it
feeling
had no
of
scent to it. Nothing had a scent, except the lotion. The lotion was a little bit scented.
I never used the lotion once.
Oh, that's why people were smelling good.
Really?
We
I
all learned about the
dang lotion.
I
didn't learn about no lotion hack.
Tap here,
I didn't learn about
here.
that lotion hack either.
Really? The lotion was
another guy who
highly
definitely
scented.
didn't learn about that
There was one guy. We're not going to blast him on the pod, but there was one man in there
I know
that I was like, he's
a European.
I was like, he's either not going to get eliminated or he's going to get eliminated because nobody could stand to be around him. So it was like, whatever, as long as you're not talking to me.
I actually was next to him, and I thought it was me. I was like, oh my god, do I smell that bad? Do I smell that bad? Do I smell that bad?
I was like,
yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
same.
It was really bad. And that's the crazy thing too. You had to become nose blind because it was overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh, we all became nose blind in there. We were all disgusting.
My luxury item.
Yeah.
Diet Coke. Like I would have done anything.
Yeah, that I didn't even think about food.
What about you, Alex? What would you have brought in? Hair gel.
Probably a great answer for me. Thank you so much.
I swear to God, if you say hair gel.
You know, I didn't wash my hair because I needed it to stay kaput or
He was a prima donna. There was a couple guys in there that it was like day 7 and they're like, I'm not washing it. I can't let this helmet like puff up. And that was really funny. Would it be hair gel, really? That would have just set your mind at ease.
I don't think
That would have just given you peace of mind?
I don't think so. Just some real food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some real food.
Okay.
That would be good.
After we saw your social media, Emily, a lot of us were like, okay, so you're definitely not middle class, sissy, with the Porsche and the handbags and stuff. How do you think that will affect what people think of you on the show? Do you think people will be like, why were you even on there?
Well, actually, how you going back to like our first thing, did I have a game plan going in? I had no game plan, but I did not want to say what I did for a living, because if I told people what I did, they'd be like, she has money, let's get her out now.
Yeah.
And valid, that's totally
I think
valid.
that's so true. You would have put the biggest target on your back, and had I known that, I would have spread that rumor, and then we could have just been dueling.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's low-key. Well, actually, I did catch on to you super quick because
how?
Because you told me that you were gonna come stay at Amangiri. And I was like, so you're going to spend
What's that, some fancy place?
That's where I work. That's where I do the hair and makeup for the
I'm
the
bad
1%,
at keeping a secret.
The top 1% of wealth in the country.
It's a really expensive
So
hotel
I was
that
like,
she works at.
so you are going to stay there knowing that it ranges from $500 to $7,500 a night.
Okay.
And I was like, she's confused. I at first was like, oh, honey, you're thinking La Quinta. No, you're not thinking of Amangiri.
I had that book. I had my Amangiri stay booked, and then there was a huge weather thing, and we couldn't drive down there.
So I was like, wait a second.
So I'm like, that's
I was
hilarious.
like, this is a little red flaggy. And then I was like, maybe she's just saying that.
Like,
Like
there were
I
other
wasn't
people
sure.
there that we knew were wealthy. That
Kurt.
exactly.
Kurt's let it slip.
Exactly.
I was like,
Yeah.
now what'd you say about that square footage? What'd you say about that pool?
Oh, I know, they're hilarious.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And
so
some people's professions, you were just like clocking it.
yeah. No, I couldn't. That was my thing going in. I didn't want to tell anyone what I did. But then when I got to know everybody and I made such close bonds, I was just telling people. I was telling everybody.
Yeah.
You can't keep a secret.
Yeah,
in there.
unfortunately, that is true. A lot of us said stuff on camera that we spent the entire time before it came out just spiraling. Are they going to show that?
I like how she says we. I wonder who that person might have been.
I wonder who's freaking out internally. Like, seriously. Oh, it's crazy. So Squid Games is so different from other reality shows. What part was the hardest mentally for you? Like, just mentally. No food, no phone, bathrooms, cameras. What's the situation?
Honestly, the not showering. I can't stand when I smell bad, and I smelled bad. And I was like, oh my God, no.
Yes.
I was like, don't come near me. I smell so bad.
For the girls, most of us have never gone a day without a shower unless you're like camping. Or for me, it was like, okay, not only are you going days without showering,
But you're also stressed, so you're sweating.
yeah, the stress sweat is another thing, but sleeping in those same
sleeping.
clothes,
Ugh.
sleeping in the same filthy clothes over and over, you feel like everything's tainted, your bed's dirty. I remember at one point during catch, I like looked down and I was just like looking at my nails, and they're always done, and I was like, there was like dirt underneath my nails. I was like, this is disgusting.
Oh, I remember
We
in
were
the
all
game,
so gross.
Britt was the one person who was brushing her teeth constantly.
Constantly walking around.
Was I?
Yeah.
Yes, you were like, this toothpaste sucks. I'm gonna get a cavity.
Okay, I'm actually crashing out over this because I have this. Okay, I'm gonna share a very quick embarrassing story. So I have an obsession with teeth. I always have. I thought I was
think
going to
you
be
said
a
that in the
dentist.
show.
I thought I was going to be a dentist. That was my whole goal growing up. I even when you write a letter to yourself and your teacher mails it to you 10 years later. It was like,
I want to be a
hopefully on your way to
dentist.
setting up your dental student. I was like, well, my parents are poor and they wouldn't put me through college, so that didn't happen. So next best thing was bleaching people's hair instead of teeth. No, I'm like, I can fix different parts of your ugly,
Yeah, there
honey.
you go.
No, but I really wanted to be a dentist. So I used to cut out pictures of people's teeth when I was in high school out of
Oh my
magazines,
gosh.
like serial
That's
killer
wild.
shit. I would cut them out and
Freaky.
look at them. Spooky. I would cut them out and look at them, and just I loved people's teeth. I remember my husband, the first date I was on, I was tapping
Wow.
on his teeth. So that's so funny you said that, because when I got home, I was like, no, I must be malnourished. My gums are bleeding. And I talked about it in the bathrooms to numerous people. I was like, is anyone else's gums are bleeding?
Yeah,
Probably
and I was like, no,
over-brushing.
Britt, we're all good.
And Justin was eating that toothpaste. He got so hungry one day. Do you remember
Stop.
that?
I don't
That's
He
remember
had
that.
the
disgusting.
tube and he was just taking little hits off
He's
it.
from
It was-
Kentucky. No offense.
Wild
He's
boy.
eating squirrel. That's the
Right.
least of
That's
his worries.
wild.
But he was eating the toothpaste just to get a little snack.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And that's a smart move, because they would have to refill the toothpaste if you ran
yeah,
out,
you would
probably.
have to.
Just eating the
But
lip,
that's gross.
lip
I
balm
can't.
and everything.
Can't be good for
I'm
you.
not even like a mint ice cream person because it tastes like toothpaste.
Oh yeah, no,
I
I was
can't.
all about the teeth. No wonder my teeth were. And then I did go to the dentist when I came out, and I was like, "Is everything okay? Check it out."
Oh my god.
Like that was one of the
I
first
haven't been to the
appointments
dentist
I made.
in I don't even know how long.
I can tell. I'm just kidding.
Oh
Britt
my
still
word.
hates me. Britt still hates me.
I'm just kidding. I'm like, I wasn't gonna say anything until I was on camera, but no, just kidding. Okay, what was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you in the games?
The most embarrassing thing that happened in the game. Well, besides my little crying moment. And then after I heard someone was saying they thought I was fake crying, that was totally real.
Yeah,
I
we could
cannot
tell
fake
it was
cry.
real. It was ugly
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah, it was ugly crying.
We knew it was real.
So that was, I guess, I honestly don't think that was, I don't get embarrassed though. That's the thing. I don't think that was embarrassing. Like, sure, I cried, whatever.
She's like, I feel zero
but-
shame about anything.
But if I have to watch if they show the twins saying that I was flirting with them, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because I was not trying to flirt. I'm just a touchy person.
Well, one of the twins,
know.
I did warn him. I was like, just so you know, remember they show little weird embarrassing moments in the bathrooms, and I was like, you were in there picking at your face, and they're gonna show you like popping a pimple in there. And he was like, oh my gosh, I hope not. And I was like, hopefully that comes.
Yeah, no, I don't get embarrassed, but I just hope they don't. I mean, if they do show it, then please, because I was not all touching up on his thigh. That's crazy.
I can't wait to see this episode.
You're just gonna keep.
I'm gonna be like
slow motion.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and she's just gonna be slowly grazing up.
Definitely slow motion. No doubt.
Okay.
Oh my God,
if you could go back to day 1 of filming, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh my gosh. I don't think I would play the game differently at all. I had a great time.
Even Debbie? You're still gonna come for Debbie?
No.
You're like, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm all.
I mean, it was funny. Like, I actually thought you were mother and daughter.
Okay.
I was wrong, and now I'm gonna look stupid. So, but go off.
Hardest part of the whole experience.
The hardest part was the no showering. Honestly,
Okay.
I hated it.
Best part.
Best part was meeting everybody. I made so many
100%.
friends, met up with so many people after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Been having a blast.
Yeah.
And you get so close to people, and you just don't think you are.
Yeah. That's a great thing to bring up, actually. I'm sure we'll cover it in many other areas, but people, I remember watching season 1 and being like, I rolled my eyes so many times. I'm not an emotional person, and I don't cry a lot, except around, like, my husband's the only person that's probably seen me cry in the last, like, 10 years. And I was like, what? These people are so lame, so pathetic. I'm like, you're weak, you're stupid. Like, how could you get this close? No, when you have 24 hours a day, no phone, you're in a highly stressful situation. You end up, like we've said, divulging information you didn't mean to, sharing parts of yourself. It's so much easier to get to know somebody. And unfortunately, and you find something in common with everyone. Did you find that? Like, I would be like, oh, I haven't talked to that guy yet. Don't care. I'd go over there, and then I'd be like, what?
Like, everyone
That's
is so
crazy.
great.
Yeah, I told them, I said it numerous times in there, and I said we could heal the country if we put like all the world's leaders in here and just made them do actual Squid Game. Like, you have to work together, figure it out. Like,
yeah, for real.
It's pretty crazy. And that is the other thing. The team bonding is such a big part of it, because you're like, okay, I might actually have a chance at winning $4.56 million. And then there's all these people with you, and you don't want to let your team down, and you become very, like, once you have a huge team boost, you all win together. It's like this collective high, and you're all just like
fun.
bonded. The other thing that I've been thinking about a lot since I've been out has been that all these reality shows that I keep seeing, it's like, oh, you know, the grand prize of $150,000, grand prize of $200,000, grand prize of $1 million. I'm like, holy shit! I don't think I realized until I got out how
like you could have won 4.56.
Yes, how much money it truly was, because it's like, well, everybody wins stuff on reality show. No, this reality show, it is a huge amount of money comparatively. Like, you see, like Survivor, like the things people have to go through from like weeks and months at a time
for
like,
1 million.
Yeah. And it's like, what? And then after taxes, what does that even leave? Like,
I don't know.
Can't go to your La Quinta place, whatever that place is.
Yeah,
no, I'm on Gary.
You can go to La Quinta. Yeah, that's where you're gonna work and live. Okay, if you won, what did you want to spend the money on?
Well, as you know, I love business. I love starting businesses. I own a meat company. I own a jewelry company. I really did want to start a restaurant.
Okay.
So obviously with the meat industry, it kind of coincides. Yeah. But my grandpa, who started the meat company, started a restaurant back when he was younger, and it failed. And so he always would talk about that. And I'm like, that'd be so cool to just like start a restaurant in his honor. He's going to be 85.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he would like love that. So I wanted to start like a little Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Just some business, something fun.
Okay.
Nothing boring.
Just low key, something fun. Just like starting a corporation.
Exactly.
just like a CEO type thing. Okay. Was there a moment that you almost quit?
Yes.
The food moment.
That crash out cry.
Okay. Were you mad when you left, and what were you feeling?
No, I wasn't mad when I left. I was happy that I got that far, because honestly, before going into the game, I told my parents, like, my goal is to just get past game 1.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of people say the same thing. Like, there were so many things about this too that were so out of your control. It was like the people you got put with in pentathlon. One person could have ruined it for the whole team.
Yeah.
There were so many things that were up to chance, so it was like this feeling going into like, I could do the best performance ever and still go home. So yeah, I think we all thought that. We're like, oh, and we all thought it was gonna be red light, green light. We were all like, it's red light, green light, 100%. We've been practicing. Be prepared to be cold. Like, we were ready, and then it wasn't. Of course, nothing was expected in this at all, which was actually crazy. We all kept guessing, and you'd go into a room and be like, stand where? Okay, they're splitting us up into groups. We were never right about any of it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, we all thought like, yeah.
No, it was crazy.
I
I
trailed
was
off,
just
I don't
like,
remember what I was gonna
every
say.
single time there was a game, I was like, oh my gosh, we're one step closer.
Yeah, we all
my
just
gosh.
wanted to make it past game 1.
Yeah.
But what's funny is even if we did make it only, we just made it past game 1, who knows if we would have even seen ourselves on TV.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
what's crazy is there's 456 people.
And
like,
it gets
some
cut
of us
in half
will be watching and be like, I was on that show. And they're like, no, you weren't. And
Yeah,
then you're going to have
we
to
didn't see
You're
you.
going to have to scroll through and save a 3-second
Yeah,
clip
like
of
literally a
yourself.
3-second clip.
That's my biggest fear.
No, you lasted.
That you never
No.
get screen
You
time.
lasted as long as we both did.
I think
We'll
that
see.
your fight
Oh.
with Justin, probably your little moment with him, that'll probably air. So you're probably good.
Great. A fight.
Was there any adrenaline chasing afterwards? I think a lot of us came out and we've talked about this. You go into something that is your cortisol's through the roof, your adrenaline's through the roof for such a long period of time. And when you get back, there's like this big letdown, and then you're like it's just a really hard thing to get back to normal. What did you have any adrenaline seeking behavior, or like I immediately want to apply for another show?
Oh
What can
yeah,
I do?
for sure. Like right after the show, because when you're in the show, it's like there's a million cameras on your face. You're all mic'd up. There's a million people that you've never met. You're literally on TV. You're on Netflix. Like that's crazy.
It is
And then you get
crazy.
off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so fun. Like I have to get on another show ASAP.
Yeah.
And like obviously we're in contract and we can't apply to any shows right now. But it's like the second that we're allowed to apply, I'm applying for every single thing that I could apply for, except for I can't do Survivor. Like if they like contacted me and they were like, Emily, do you want to be on Survivor? I'm like, why would you choose me? Because I'm gonna like fail at this because I am not that girl.
The hungry.
But I would go on, but I would not apply for Survivor. I can't.
Okay.
I love my food too much.
I would go on alone. Like I watch that show all the time
Oh,
where they dunk you in
Alone?
the middle
I
of
love
like
the
the
show.
woods.
I would never make it.
I've never seen that one.
I like low-key kind of think I would, because one of the things I'm best at, it's literally the opposite of you, blonde and brunette, I'm really good at starving. Like, there are people,
They put you in the middle of the woods with bear
That's
and wolves.
insane.
And you have
No,
to fend
she
for
would
yourself.
die.
Yeah.
But here's
She
the
would
thing.
die.
They
Death.
let you bring like 10 survival items or something with you. One of mine would be a toothbrush, one of mine would be a toothpaste, and they'd be like, I'm just out there like
Yeah,
gums
right.
Oh
bleeding.
my god.
But
No.
no, I'm so good at being hungry. Like,
That's wild.
I did fitness competitions a long time ago, and that like trained me for it. But like, there are people, we always joke about this in relationships. There's people that are hangry people that are so angry when they're hungry, and there's people that are like when they're tired. I'm the person who, if I don't sleep, I'm like so angry, so short-tempered. But you could starve me for days, and I'd be like,
That's
okay.
wild. I'm the opposite. I need my food.
Yeah.
That's wild. But no, my dream show is Big Brother. I know I'm gonna get on it one day.
You will. We're
Yeah.
manifesting it right here. You heard it
Manifesting.
first.
Oh, that's the alarm.
Yeah, you're good. Why was it Squid Game the challenge? Like, did you watch the show, and like, why apply for this show?
So I'll start with from the very beginning. So I've been watching Big Brother since I was a child, like with my childhood best friends and my mom, and that's like our show. And so I always told myself, like when I turn 21, I just can't wait to apply to Big Brother. Like I don't care to drink, I don't care to gamble, like I just want to apply to be on Big Brother.
Yeah.
And so then with the businesses and life, I got busy, and then I thought about it, and I was like, why don't I just apply? Hello. And so I applied to Big Brother. I got a Zoom, and I was like, oh my god, I might get on
this
Big
is
Brother. And then didn't pass, but they were like, you're really good at this, like you have the personality, you should apply to other shows. So I looked at other shows applying, and the one that I found, it was called Deal or No Deal Island.
Oh, okay.
And so I applied to that, and then I got a call back like the next day from a guy, and he was like, from a producer, and he was like, so we're done casting for that show, but we would love you to apply to Destination X, which is on right now.
Oh, cool.
And so I
Okay.
applied to Destination X. I got the Zoom, didn't pass. So all the secret sauce is passing the Zoom. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just apply to one more, and it was Squid Game. And when I applied, I was like, there's no shot that I'm getting on this show because I have money.
Had you seen it yet? Had you
Yes.
seen the show?
I watched the show. But I was like, there's no chance that I'm getting on the show because the show is literally fighting for money. And, the real show is about broke people fighting for money.
Right.
And I was like, there's no way they're going to cast me because I'm not broke. And I made that, like, it's so obvious. And I even asked my casting producer, I was like, do we even have a shot at this because I have money? And he was like, oh, don't even worry about that. They don't base it off that.
Yeah, and I think it's actually more interesting because, number one, it does put a bigger target on your back. People are angry when they find out. Nobody's going to root for you to win, and if you did win, they're going to be infuriated.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think it
I
mattered.
thought about it. Like, I was like, don't even think about, like, winning because, like, what are the odds? But I was like, I came to the point where I was like, if I made Final 2, I think I would have given it up. Because I don't, I don't need the money. And I just would have wanted to do that. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you only 21?
I'm 24.
Wow.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I waited a few years and then I applied.
Were you the youngest person on the show?
No, I think there was somebody. Well, when I was on the show, I was 23 because I turned 24 in March.
Oh, okay.
So when I was in the show, I was 23, and then there was someone who was 22.
Okay.
Tyler.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That was it, just me and Tyler.
What was the first thing you did when you came home?
Oh my goodness. The first thing I did when I came home, well, Carter Carter was
Your
here.
showmance showed up.
Yeah, he drove from LA to come. And we had just a welcome back dinner at my favorite restaurant with all my friends, my dad, and Carter was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was fun. We had a blast.
So
and then we went out to the club.
Was that dinner, or what did you get in the airport?
Oh, well, actually, the first actual thing that I ate was pizza with Leon. Because we were in the hotel waiting to go home, and we were like, let's go get our first meal, and it was pizza with Leon.
Okay, that's
and
nice.
Tiffany, yeah.
That's cute. How do you personally decompress? So this doesn't really have anything to do with the show or with Squid Games The Challenge, but I like to ask people on this podcast. I think it's fascinating to find out how people like decompress in their daily life. What is your like go-to thing that you do?
Honestly, hang out with my friends.
Okay.
I've been friends with all of my friends since like 5th grade, so it's been like 14 plus years.
Okay,
of
so
like being friends with these people.
That brings you down.
Yeah,
if you're stressed out, if you're upset.
Yeah, I'm just like, let's just have like a hot tub night at my house, and all my friends will come over, and that's just like my happy place. Hot tubbing at my house.
Okay. What has changed since you went home?
Honestly, nothing. I mean, I've made so many new friends, so it's like a lot of more traveling to be able to see these people and hang out and have so much fun. And obviously the anticipation. And obviously nothing much has changed because the show hasn't come out.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting around and same old life, you know.
Okay. Now that you've been on reality TV, what do you wish that people knew about the experience?
I wish people knew how difficult it actually was, because I feel like people are just like, oh, they just either get cast, they just apply real quick, they just go real quick, come back, little fun time. Mm-hmm. But like, no, it's a whole process. Like my casting process was like 6 months. I know some people's was a year and a half.
Yes.
Like that is insane.
I heard that too. And also they do kind of let you know right before you go. Not a lot of people didn't have a ton of like time in between.
At all.
I don't know if we can get into specifics, but some people had days, some people had weeks, a few people had months, it seems like. So a lot of us, it's like, you have to be ready. And they remind you a lot, but you have to be ready to leave your entire life behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference, too, that I keep thinking about is people on reality shows generally have their phones available to them.
Yeah.
Literally think about leaving your husband, your wife, your kids,
yeah,
whoever.
no talking to family. You don't know what time it is.
Zero contact. You can't email them. You can't call them. Yeah, and you never know what time of day it is. You're on a crazy film schedule. You're not getting like 8 to 10
And if there's any
sleep.
current events happening in the outside world, like you don't know that.
Oh, that's
and
the crazy
this is
part
the
too.
funniest thing. When I got out, I asked like the driver of our car, like, oh my gosh, what are the recent events that have happened? And they say, well, Beyonce won Country Album of the Year, so everyone is pissed. And Kanye West's wife walked the red carpet naked.
Yes, I heard that too. That's so crazy.
That's the first thing I was like, is nothing else happening? Or the plane crashes.
The helicopter and the plane crash. That was pretty awful to find out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So how do you feel now that we've talked? When I reached out to you and asked about doing the podcast, I told you I had talked poorly about you in my interviews and then I needed to clear the air. You said I probably deserved that. I was worried that your feelings would be hurt after, and I'm glad we had a chance to talk. Ultimately, we weren't in the same alliance or group. We were group adjacent, so we had some interaction, but we weren't really on the same team necessarily. When I saw you after, I told you, like, how was I misreading all that? Was I totally wrong? And I think a big part of having adult friendships and relationships is knowing when you're wrong or misguided, or even just confused, and being willing to accept that your perception of things can be wrong. That's like pretty weird. We're all like in our own reality, and we're like, no, this is what happened. And you know, they always say that like there's the truth, and then what's the
actual truth, or
no,
what you
think
the
there's
truth
two
is?
sides of the story, and then there's the truth. There's something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
But all I know is we didn't sleep for days. Eating was hard. There was a lot of stress, and I think the sleep made me very emotional and vulnerable. Specifically, me, like I went so many days without sleeping, and I'll harp on it so many times, but so many people were able to get just a couple hours here and there, and I was genuinely up for days and days and days.
I don't know how you did it.
And it just made me like tweaking.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it.
So I think we've officially put that feud to rest, and honestly, I'm so glad we did. We survived Squid Game the Challenge, and now we have survived each other. It's been amazing to clear the air and get real about everything. Thanks for being open, and thanks for coming on Girl Hack to share your side of the story. Cheers to no more drama, at least not between us.
Of course. Thanks for having me. You're welcome.
Amazing.
Okay, so switch with Alex,
all right.
and then we'll just, and you can chime in too. Switch your cups,
yes,
your
please.
drink cups too. Do you want your water now?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Let's go into Alex's. Okay, I'm just going to keep it recording.
Yeah, keep going.
Because I'll have the guy do everything. All right, here we go.
Hey, Britt.
Hey. Welcome back to Girl Hacked, and today's episode is a killer. No games, just straight up drama and laughs. I've got a very special guest with me, my friend Alex from Squid Game The Challenge Season 2. Not only did we survive the world's craziest reality competition together, but he also happens to hold the crown for being the oldest competitor on the show. We're dishing...
What? No, I was not.
I couldn't wait to slip that in for you.
Sorry.
I tried to play that off, so I'm like, and then you guys were like, just the
so
rears back. We're dishing on alliances, rivalries, behind-the-scene chaos, and what it's really like to stare down elimination in a game where every move counts. He may be the only podcast guest to need a nap in the middle of recording.
Flew all the way out here for this.
But I'd like to introduce Alex Salt to the show. Let's dive in.
Woo!
What was it like being the oldest player?
I really hate you, Brett. I really, really, really hate you.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so how big is the font on your phone?
Very big, honestly. Funny story. These glasses are fairly new, and the doctor's like, "You really need those progressives because you can't see." And I said, "I'm not giving in to the progressives, but I can't see. So now when I need to read, I got to do that."
Yeah. It's so funny. Old people either take their glasses off when they look at the menu or put them back on. Like
That's
they're
me.
like they have the separate glasses. They have the regular glasses and then like the whatever they are bifocals. I don't know. I have 2010 vision.
So
like
happy
I
I'm
have
here
no
today.
idea.
Thank you.
I'm totally kidding. Okay. But seriously, let's walk through the process a little bit. Tell me about the moment you applied to be on the show and what those initial steps were, and then go ahead and give me the timeline between getting that first text or call, because a lot of people are very curious. Like, you apply, and I think too, part of what takes so long is you don't realize when they open up the show for casting, there is a long time where it's just open as well. Yep. So they're getting numerous submissions, and you don't know where yours falls in. Were you one of the first ones that they scroll past, or are you the very last? So yeah, tell me about applying for the show. Why did you decide to this one specifically?
I mean, it honestly doesn't even make any sense, because I watched the show with my son, and he's like, "Dad," at the end of it, he's like, "Dad, you could totally do this. You could win the show." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I can totally do this." So the little thing comes up on the screen, says, "Hey, if you're interested in applying, apply. Go to this link and apply." So I did it on a whim, not thinking anything of it. I couldn't even tell you what was on the video that you need to submit. Nothing. And then you get this random phone call, which I'm sure you both got as well. And
yes.
Like, "Hey, we received your video. We want to talk to you about potentially being on the show." And I'm like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
And then they do it through WhatsApp, and I'm like, "There's no way."
Yeah, we all got really thrown off by WhatsApp. That's like something they use in the UK a lot, and we were all just like scam, like scam alert. But same, yeah. It was a whim for a lot of us, which is funny. And most of the people did do that. People think that when you apply for a reality show, you need to have this great video and eye-catching. They really just want like real people being there. And I have no idea what was on mine either. I'd probably be really embarrassed to see it because I have no idea what
I have
it was.
mine.
You do?
Do you have yours?
Okay, you have to post that when it's all over and done. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's basically it. So on a whim, and then I get the phone call, and then they're like, "Okay, that was really good. We want you to meet the the casting producer and go through a video that's going to be used for your casting video we sent to Netflix." I'm like, "Okay." Then it's like, "Hey, we're going to do this background check. Hey, you got to do this medical." And I'm like, each step I'm getting closer and closer and closer and closer.
There's a lot that goes into it.
And then they do the social media audit, and they're like, "Hey, you might want to go back to like 2013 and start deleting some stuff off of Facebook." I'm like,
"What did you have?"
"What do you mean?" They wouldn't even really tell me.
Okay, that's weird because other people had specific things that they were like, "Hey, when you were 14, you tweeted this. Do you want to keep that up, or do you maybe want to?" And I've only had social media for a few years. I didn't have like Facebook even until literally like 4 years ago. So I had no social media, and I was like shook. I was like, "What?" Like they want to see what posts you liked and stuff,
And that's exactly what it was. So I did deep
wow,
dive
my posts
into
were
Facebook.
clean.
So
Got it.
clean.
Yeah, they talked to me about nothing. They were like, "Good to
Yeah,
go. You don't
same.
even have like a carbon footprint." Like,
Oh, my
You're
carbon footprint
invisible.
is ginormous.
because of the Porsche and the PJ.
Yeah,
and
all
of
of
those
it,
things.
but nothing bad.
Nothing
Nothing
bad,
bad.
nothing bad.
Yeah. Okay, so your first impression of the set. When you walked into the dorms, what were you thinking?
It really is. It's so hard to explain unless you're actually part of that, right? But you walk in and there's all these people, there's all this noise. You're in, your jumpsuits, and you're starting to mingle, no pun intended, with a lot of the other players, because you really don't have an opportunity to do that, right?
Yeah.
Early on, when you're in the hotel, they're trying to keep you separate. You do have breakfast and lunch at certain times, but you can't really chat, and you got to get back in your room.
Yeah.
So just overwhelming with all these people, and you start to click, right? You start to kind of find your tribe and figure out, okay, what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Really pretty incredible experience.
You have to think too how overwhelming it would be to walk into a room of strangers. It's so loud you can barely hear the person next to you, and you're going around trying to be like, "Hi, I'm Britt, I'm from Utah, and like this is why you should like me." And like you don't know who's going to be an enemy. Like you're just going around blind leading the blind. And as slowly as the player count comes down, it becomes a lot easier. But that 456 that day one was out of this world. Like,
and the
so
game is
overwhelming.
On. You walk in and the game is on. You're on
yeah,
television.
you're
You're
there.
on Netflix.
I kind of shut down. I remember at one point I just went and sat up on the thing and I was like, I just need to catch a breath and like observe. I was like, this is like, I can't introduce myself one more time.
And you almost didn't make it through day one.
True. I chose the wrong side. I don't know if they'll air that, but yeah, they needed more people. Like, they were like, it's not an even split. If anyone wants to come over to X, and I was like, I'm going on X, and I just stood up and went over, and then thank God, the world needed to see me. It was like it was all faded. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, did you feel like it was as immersive as we've talked about?
100%.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is. Even with the guards, the pressure of being in pentathlon and the guards right in front of you, and you're just like, well, not everyone, but I was like, I'm fucking up over and over, and you just look up at the guards, and they're like, nope, and you're just like, and then when you see that O, you're just like, out of this world.
Yep.
It was the craziest feeling
When
ever.
I finished, I didn't even look for the O. I just like, okay, let's go.
I did. We were like, did I mess up again? As far as immersion goes, did you feel really worried in the moment? Like, the guards feel bigger than life and scary. You have no idea who's behind the mask, and not just knowing, when you can use the restroom next, not knowing what time of day it is, no food, no caffeine, no sleep, the bathroom cameras. It was a highly intense environment. Did you feel worried about any of that? Like,
not really, not consciously. I think maybe subconsciously. I know I didn't sleep well. I definitely wasn't eating well.
Yeah.
I would wake up make up a time at 2 a.m. and think it was time to get up, so I'd go take a shower. And then I'd sit on the stoop, and then, one of the producers would come in, if I'm allowed to say that, and say, hey, Al, I think you should go back to sleep. I'm still the night
They would
shift.
never tell us like
That's
what time it
crazy.
was, but they were like, maybe try to like get a wink. I remember that time too, because you woke up, you left, I was headed to the bathroom too, and you were like, no, we're supposed to be sleeping for a little. You're so turned around, and like the Americans too, we have like the jet lag that just it was crazy. What was your most embarrassing moment in the game?
Okay, so I think it's definitely Mingle. I consider myself pretty cool, pretty calm. I'm a dad. I'm the oldest guy on the show,
Yep.
right? But Mingle did something. I mean, the whole game. We were there for what, 2 weeks thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
not eating, not sleeping, not knowing what time it is, not knowing what the weather is, all this kind of stuff. And then you get to the set, and it's incredible, and you're elated. And then there's a practice run, and everyone's kind of having fun with it, right? The music goes like, oh, this is crazy. We're actually playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's on.
Yeah.
Right? And then your friends are kind of separated. And people that you thought were on your side, that were going to stick through with you, are deciding, maybe there's another place I need to be rather than to be with you.
Not my team.
Not your team,
We stuck it through.
exactly.
Yeah.
So things started
We
to
did too.
unravel.
That's kind of might have been a downfall for us, though. Actually, that we weren't
Maybe,
willing to.
Yeah. We weren't
Oh, yeah.
really willing to mingle. That's
Yeah,
it.
truly.
Yeah, so that's it. So then when Britt's eliminated, Levi's eliminated, Jenny's eliminated, I'm sitting in a room. I happen to make it through, and I'm sitting in a room in a corner, sobbing like a baby.
I can't wait to see it.
And I can't believe, like,
Yeah.
looking back, I can't believe, but in the moment, it was so overwhelming.
Yeah, again, the lack of sleep and just like it's crazy too to think about, like, oh my gosh, if 70% of my team's gone, now I have to go back to the dorms and reevaluate and like find a new
That's
team,
right.
and it's just the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it
So
was a horrible feeling.
yeah. Do you remember my little mentee bee when you were like, are you praying again? They thought I was praying during when I was doing Ganji, but I was just saying my daughter's name. I was like, this one's for you. I was like, this will help me get it through. But I remember I was like over in the corner, like whispering to myself.
Yeah, I do.
I'm super claustrophobic. Those rooms, you're not thinking about, like, it was pretty hot in there, and it's all these bodies packed in, and I was just like, I'm tweaking out, and I was just over there like, you're okay. You have plenty of space. You can breathe. And he's like, are you
Are you
you
gonna be
okay?
okay?
Crazy.
Yeah, those two are my most embarrassing. That and my performance in pentathlon, really. But
But we made it through, girl.
we did.
Yeah,
We made
that's
it
all
through.
that matters.
The best part was when we crossed the finish line. He turned over. He's like, I had zero faith in
Zero.
you. Why would you ever?
Who said that?
He
Me.
did.
The
was
whole
like-
time I'm like, Britt, you got this. Still keep
He gets up.
going.
He's like, I had no faith in you. And he's like, why did you volunteer to do that? And then Sean's like, zero faith in you.
Zero.
Did
Oh
that
my
sound like him?
gosh.
There's a moment when the cameraman just gives up on us.
Yeah.
Like, the cameraman is there
That's
standing over
Iconic.
us, and he's just like, they lost.
Yeah. He's like,
Moving along.
this girl ruined it for everyone. And then, fortunately, Grace was there
That's
to
right.
ruin it for her team.
I think that's what happened with a lot of teams, because if we didn't have Bob on the other side, we would have gone home.
That's right.
Because Bob sucked at cards so bad.
Bob.
Old
man, Bob.
from Arizona.
But he made it through.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't.
Oh, he did.
The other Bob. There's two old
Oh,
Bobs.
there was the Bob. Our Bob slept like he was in a coffin.
Yes, that's
Do you
your
remember?
Bob.
He was like, he was literally like Dracula. We
Mhm.
look over and he's all, and I'm like, can someone go like take it? Like, I was so scared. I was like, why is he sleeping? Just every morning. Just rises. Okay, that actually is something we should talk about super quick. The music that they play in the morning. So just picture this.
Oh, God.
Your days without sleeping. You're not eating. You're not going to the bathroom. Everything sucks. You're stinky. And then in the morning, like I said, I'm one of those people that the sleep gets me infuriated. That booming sound coming from the mic, it is so loud. And it just infuriated me every morning. I freaking hate it. And you put it on your ringtone, psychopath.
It's still my alarm, yes.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah, I can't.
I would be freaked.
I'm just a strange person.
I can't. Okay, is there anything you would change?
I don't think so. Like Emily said, I went into the game thinking I'm just going to be who I am. I'm going to be kind and operate in the game the way I would operate outside the game. And I think, honestly, doing that helped me get as far as I did. Now, obviously, I got eliminated at a point where I really of all the points, I thought I'd make it through that point in time, and I did.
Mackenzie
Unfortunately,
got you.
Mackenzie got me. I still love you, Mackenzie, but the universe would not allow it.
Yeah. How you play the game is who you are. If you know, you know. Okay, how many days before you washed your hair?
Of course, this is coming out.
Since you were so obsessed.
I did not wash my hair not once while I was in there because you're on television. It's 24/7. I had product in my hair going in. I figured if I washed that product out, who knows what kind of a freak I'm going to look like. So
magazines put him on the front cover. He's ready with his hair.
Cover. Come on, people.
Vogue.
Yeah.
So yes, wash the body, wash the face. Not
you
the
put
hair.
the soap on the body and you wash the body.
That's right.
Okay, so let's talk the actual games. The first elimination. So again, as people are going to see on this season, all 456 players got to go in at the same time. That was wild. And we all started counting beds. Like we were like, wait, maybe we all get it. And then we're like, no, people aren't staying tonight. So you're given a choice to choose between X and O. And you have no idea. We thought it was just going to be like, there's a side that was wrong, and those people are going home. Instead, we get put in a room, as you'll see, and you hit the X and the O, and it's a timing and a counting game. Now, how many seconds was it again? It was like
456.
But that was like, how many minutes did that equate to? I mean,
Was it 10 minutes? I forget.
No, it was like 7 minutes, right?
Maybe 7 minutes.
It's like around 7 minutes.
Not
So
smart
when you
enough
think
for that.
about it, you're trying to keep count. Really think about that. Like try and practice at home, even just for 3 minutes. It'll blow your mind how you're like, you're gonna mess up. So you're sitting there going 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the most powerful moments in the entire game to me was that moment. When we, watching those musicians, I swear it's going to sound so cheesy, that was one of the most beautiful moments in the entire game for me. We were all putting our faith in these people who had a great plan and a great idea, and we're just watching them, and they were laser focused. I can't focus for more than 10 seconds, and these guys were just like, and you'll see like, there's other things going on in the room, people bumped into them. They never stopped for a second. And then when they announced that we were the people staying,
What a feeling.
That was so fun.
the room erupted into a nightclub, like within seconds.
So
like it was hysterical. People were running around, like dragging people, hugging people, like shoving people.
I was
like
getting thrown in the air, kissed by random men I never talked to. On the
sweating.
cheek.
Twin,
Alex,
you again?
Alex was in his wheelchair wheeling over.
Somebody help me.
He was like, "Where am I?" He kept getting confused. We're like, "Buddy, you're on
What game
TV.
is this again?
Where's my night nurse?" It was so fun.
So mean.
So then we go into our second game is pentathlon. Incredible.
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible. When you guys see this, you're going to think like, oh, it's a set and there's all these lights above. No, it is an enclosed space. It is, the scale of everything is absolute perfection. I always wondered too, I was like, the Squid Games, the real Squid Games isn't filmed in the UK where we filmed. And so it's not the same set. And I'm just like, how? Like this set was the set. There is no, when you go in, every little detail. And if you guys haven't seen the making of Squid Game, the challenge, you should watch that because they go into detail about how they specifically sent over the tile. Remember for the bathroom? They were like, no, that color blue isn't perfect. The mattresses are all handmade. Like they couldn't just custom order mattresses. Like everything is crazy. It's so realistic.
I thought that we wouldn't play those games. I thought they were too violent.
We thought that too. We were like, well, they're not going to make us do pentathlon or mingle because people might get injured or shoved or anything. But they're very clear about the rules ahead of time. Like no monkeying around.
Yeah, well, pentathlon, I was like, there's no way because no one can do these games. They're so hard. I was like, there's no way.
And then we're like,
and then they did them, and I was like, guess you got to practice. And if you didn't, then you
And we
yourself.
did find out that a lot of people did practice. I did not.
Right.
I didn't practice anything. I just assumed I was going to be great at it because I loved Jax as a kid.
I bought all the games, practiced all the pentathlon games. I bought them all.
Oh, you did?
I sucked at every single one. I couldn't do any one
Which
except
one
for
did you
Gongi,
do?
and I did
That's
Gongi.
the one you did.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. No. Okay.
20 minutes later.
Yeah, I'm all, So, catch. what I feel like one of the most draining games was Catch.
Very draining. Yes.
The filming took a really long time.
Yes.
We're all exhausted at this point. And also, it's a cumulative thing, too. So we're all saying, like, it got harder, it got worse. But it really is just the cumulative effect of everything. It was like maybe if we did Catch day 1 or Mingle day 1, things would have been different. Or we wouldn't have all been sobbing in Mingle because people broke down in Mingle. People were crying. There was a lot of, like, hurt feelings and people just freaking out. So let's talk about what happened between you and Justin. What happened to make you guys come to a head? Were you just sick of it, everything? And let's clarify too. So I don't know if we'll see everything, but Justin and Kurt and Zoe was on the other side of Kurt. So I have no hard feelings against either of those guys. I mean, they're father-daughter. We always expected them to go wherever the other one went. And Zoe had her own friends on the other side of the bunk, and Kurt was bunking with us. So they kind of came together and they made like a hybrid team, if you will. But Justin was with us pretty much since when did he come over?
Pentathlon? Right after Pentathlon, I think we started to bond.
That's right. Okay. So we had all of those people. So they're over there, you know. He was constantly asking if there was any squirrel that would be included in the meals.
Yes.
He was upset about that. He's like, is there any squirrel meat available? Like, you know, because there was vegan meals and the regular meals, and they were both trash. But he's like, you know, would it kill him to put some squirrel into this? He was over there for a long time. So we thought we were all very connected with Justin. He's a big part of our group. We go into Mingle and we're like looking for him. We're like, where did he go? Like,
well, even before then, like when we were forming our lines to get into the game area, he was kind of separated. We were like, why is he so far away from us?
Yeah. So we sent Levi over as our what am I looking for? Messenger. Yeah. And he comes back and he said he already has his team, and that was like, what? So we're suddenly like, we've been played.
Yep.
Yeah.
You played yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it was shocking to us, and we were all instantly like, absolutely not. I still, to this day, I don't think I asked Justin what exactly Levi asked him or what he said to him.
I didn't either.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, we actually don't know. Justin may still come on the podcast. He declined because of a work engagement. I'm just kidding. But we don't know, actually, then, what Levi said to him. What if Levi was playing us the whole time? He goes over. I doubt it, too. But anyway, he went over and asked him. He said, I've got my own team. And we're like, what do you mean? Your team's here. So then we get up on stage. We're like, okay, F those guys. We're completely separate. And then as people got whittled down after.
Then they wanted to join back.
Then they wanted to join back.
Exactly right.
And that's when we were like, no.
Which is foolish,
not.
by the way, on
it
our
was
part,
very
too.
foolish. I'll admit it. I was the ringleader. I was like, those guys were staying loyal. But then we had Kevin coming over and being like, we need two. So he was trying to split up the group. And this point, we probably should have split up. We should have been like, okay, you know what? The numbers are getting lower. Every man for himself. Find where you can go, and it's no hard feelings. Honestly, one of the reasons I stayed together, too, was Jenny freaked me out. She was like, I'm a very vindictive person, and I will find out where you live, and I'll hunt you down. And she was just saying that in general, and I was like,
that's a little wild.
So I got a little spooked, and I was like, oh, I'll stick with you. No, but we should have split up. The game was Mingle. Lizzie said that numerous times. She's like, the game's Mingle. I want to mingle. She was wandering around. But we got our feelings hurt in such an intense space and area that we were like, no, you can't just come over now. And then you had this fear that, like, yeah, now they're offering to come over, but if one of their people goes in before us, they're going to shove us out anyway.
Right.
So we'd be better off going with strangers almost who are desperate for 1 or 2 or 3 players. But you have no time either.
No.
They call that number. It's
That's
so crazy. It's like, here's the number and 3 seconds. And you're just like, and that's what happened to you. You got drug in by liar, pants on fire,
yes,
Eric.
Mr. Eric.
Mr.
Eric. And just take a step back. What's so hard to explain is, you guys were talking about it before too, like, the game is so immersive, and you really do connect with people.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. And you form these incredible bonds in such a short period of time. So you think they're your family, for lack of a better word. And then you get into these games where you're expecting them to act in that way, and then they don't. And they sort of break your heart.
Yeah.
So then we're cutting our nose to spite our face, saying, no, now you need us? Well, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's when most of us got eliminated, unfortunately.
That's so true. And it is crazy too, because I kept thinking about the real Squid Game and just thinking like, no, it's so crazy how they made it identical, because the feelings are the same. Like, it's like literally like you could be close to someone one day and they're dead the next day, and you just have to move on. That's it.
Sad.
Like, they're gone and they're out of sight, out of mind, you know? So that's kind of weird. What was the hardest part of the experience for you?
I'm telling you, it was Mingle. The hardest part, when you guys were eliminated, I was distraught. I remember hearing your voice, and I forget what you said. I think you said, do it for Izzy, who's my daughter.
For Izzy, yeah.
And I was afraid
Emily's crying over here, and I'm all, no.
to even look out the little portal hole to see you guys, because that's how devastated I was.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was my squad. They were supposed to be with me. I'm the only one who made it, and they didn't. And I was devastated. I couldn't eat dinner that night. It was horrible.
That's not what I heard. I heard
Yeah,
you
I
wolfed
was
it
like,
down. No,
"Bah."
I'm just kidding.
He was having a great
I heard you
time
wolfed it
in
down.
there.
I actually was so relieved. So things had started to turn in the actual doors. Like people were fighting amongst themselves and saying nasty stuff.
So you thought I was the villain against you, but you had
I
real
had
villains
a
against
bunch
you.
of
That
hoes
is
on
so
my list.
true.
But it got so intense that when they shut that door and it was locked out, you see people out there, you're mad, maybe someone's in there that wasn't supposed to be in there that snuck in and your person's out. There were so many things like that happened, and the feelings got so intense, and girls were breaking down crying in there. And I said to the producers,
And men.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and
literally
men.
true. Oh yeah,
Maybe more men than women,
Crybaby.
actually.
No. And Justin was constantly crying. He goes, they're just gonna show a bunch of clips of me bawling over everything, and it was so funny. But it was one of those things where you are in there, it's so intense, and I just realized in that moment, like, there wasn't a moment where I was going to give up, because when I was up all night, I would literally just, like, stare at the piggy, and I would, like, repeat this mantra. I was like, I would say my number in my head. How lame is it? But I'd literally be like, player 109, you have won Squid Game. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to win. Like, the further you get, you start to get delusional. Like, you're literally like, no, wait a second. When those numbers go down, you're like, I'm in the top 70. I'm going to win this shit. Like, this is a real thing now.
Do you want to know something so funny? So, like, before the show, before anything, I was like, I'm the type of person that would be second place. Like, I genuinely was like, it's going to be second place. Like, there's no way. Like, I just
You're
would
gonna make
be
it
second
so
place.
far and
I don't
then
know.
not win.
Especially because I knew that if I won, the whole world would hate me.
Yeah.
Why would they want someone with money to
I
win
don't
money?
think
But
that's
it's
They
not
would
scripted again.
hate me.
But it is true. It's like you get
Yeah.
there. We all said the same thing. You know, we just wanted to get past number 1.
Day
But once
one.
you get past number 2 and
Right.
number 3
Right.
and number 4, it starts to become real. And I would just be up all night because I wasn't sleeping, staring at the pig. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And then when I got eliminated, I had such a smile on my face. I have never felt more peaceful in my life. I was like, I am so ready to go home and see my husband. I cannot wait to get home. And I told them in my interviews, I said, you know, they were like, were you upset to get out, whatever? And I was like, if you win this game, you're a bad person. And we'll find out if that's true or not. But I was like, there's no way to make it to the end without absolutely screwing everyone over. And we all had realistic expectations of that. We all said that. We were like, you know, everything's all good until we're like top 10, top 20. And then it's like,
Yeah,
everything's
Then
out
it's
the
scary,
window.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everything's out the window at that point. Like, sorry, you know?
Yeah.
But you saw how devastating it was to people and how serious some people needed the money or took it. And you were just like, and I was like, I'm so glad to be out of this now. I was never meant to make it past this. Like, I just knew that in my bones. And I thought I would be the person that would get home and spiral. Like, be like, oh, I should have done this differently. Because
Like,
that's so me. I
yeah.
overthink everything. Like, I'm the person that's like tweaking on the way home. It's like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. And I had none of that. Like, I was like, oh, thank God it's over. Like, I'm relieved,
same.
you know?
I was like, it was my time.
Same thing, Alex. Was anything scripted?
No, absolutely not.
No. There's some crazy stuff that you guys are going to see, and none of it was
Yeah.
scripted. Sorry.
Oh, not at all.
Sorry to disappoint. Best part of the experience.
I mean, Emily said it too. Just meeting the people. I mean, being there is incredible and surreal and all the things. There's a moment when me and Nick, the firefighter from Queens, were just sitting there on the stairs leading into the bathroom area.
That was your spot, I remember.
That was our spot, and we would just like we're looking around, and we're like, holy shit, we're on
we're here.
television right now, like 24/7 television.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were so many moments like that. It was just a great experience, and to be one of the 456, like you said before, selected
Yeah.
to be
Insane.
a part of this thing
It's
is
crazy.
absolutely incredible.
It is a
and
crazy feeling to get that call and finally know for sure, because it drags on for months, and then you're just when you're like, I probably ain't, and then you're like, it was unreal.
Yeah, and unlike you guys, I'm like, I'm just a regular guy. Like, why do they want me on this show? You know, it was wild. It was
The
really
mix of
wild.
people was
But I think that
absolutely
the
epic.
like normal people are way better than like influencers because they're ready. They know
Yeah,
what to
maybe.
do. They don't want to be canceled.
Yep.
But we're just like, beep, beep, beep. It's us. It's our
Yep.
lives.
Yeah, maybe.
And one of the things that I learned too, like I said, same thing. I played on a whim. Me and my husband finished watching the show. He went to bed. I literally walked into my work office from home, and I just filmed a 30-second video, and I went to bed. I never told him about it because I was like, it's never gonna happen anyway. It's just fun. It's just something I did. And then when that call came, I called him. I was like, okay, so first I applied to be on the show like 8 months ago. I didn't tell you. They called me back. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know. It was crazy, but it's just one of those things. Like, I had looked up on TikTok like what the previous people from season 1 had done, and they all said that. They were like, literally, you have to be yourself. It's never going to work if you're trying to be like come out as like I'm going to be the villain, or I'm going to be the liar, or I'm going to be the whatever. There's nothing to do but be yourself.
But there were people like that. for
Yeah,
sure.
true. But I don't know if that was their game plan all along, or like, oh, Eric.
Well, the one person, yeah, Eric, for sure. That
he
was
was
game plan.
he was lying through his teeth the whole
He had a
time.
notebook
Like,
But you know,
full of, like, all
you
the
know what
facts.
Eric does
A
for
notebook.
like life, right?
what?
Eric is
A life coach?
no. Eric
is a liar.
No, he creates reality show games and hosts them.
Right.
Like, he's so in the reality show world. He knows so much about reality shows.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He hosts like Survivor games.
Yep. I've heard that.
And
Like
he has
in
like it's a
real
whole
life?
YouTube channel.
Like in the woods, him and his friends go and survive.
He does it for a living.
So they're LARPing. They're just dressed up as those medieval knights. I'm like, it's not the same thing. Okay. What did you learn about yourself, Alex, being on the show?
Good questions. I think I learned that I was going to be like I mentioned before, I was going to go in there and be myself, and I stayed true to that. Even though, like you said, you're laying in bed, you look up, you see this pig, it's full of money, like it's $4.5 million. That's real money, right? It's real money.
Yeah.
And I didn't allow that to change who I was, and I wanted to play the game exactly like I said, who I was, and continue doing that throughout the entire game.
Okay. Did anything about this experience change you or your life after? So after you got home,
Britt, you
don't have to answer it if you don't want to, and you don't have to give too many details. But
yeah. So something's changed for sure. Yeah. Filed for divorce. So that's a little weird. So it's certainly life changing. And listen, that was something that was kind of going on for a long time, right?
Okay.
And coming home from the show certainly helped put things into perspective, right?
Okay.
Realizing, wow, what an incredible high. Like, to be able to experience this and all the things we just talked about, and then come home and know, this isn't a place that really makes me happy for many different reasons, and it's not fair to the children, all this kind of stuff. It helped me make that decision, for sure.
Okay, so can you share what specifically, because people are going to see this and be like, you went on reality TV, it's a couple weeks of your life, you came home and changed your actual real life. Because most people, we had a weird, like, we came home and we're like, what do we do? Who are we? Like, and then it calms down and you're like, okay, everything's okay now. But you're not alone. Me and Emily were talking. There are a lot of people that had trouble in their relationships when they got home, or
full divorces.
There are full divorces. That's very confusing. And I don't know if I think that honestly is probably going to be more specific to something like this. This is a mental tormenting challenge. There was a trauma that people experienced for various reasons.
For sure,
But what's like what about this experience really was like, okay, now this life that I go back home to just won't work or isn't validating or whatever it is. Like, how do you explain that to people that are like, well, you just went on a reality show for 2 weeks, you're going to go home and change your whole life?
I wish I could. I wish I was eloquent enough to explain it. But it just, like I mentioned, it just put things into perspective. I know I'm such an old man, right? And time is limited. And I realize that I want to experience more things like this. I want to continue to enjoy my life and not worry about what might be happening at home with, with me and my wife and the kids and all that stuff.
Okay. Do you want to go on more reality TV shows? Is it something you'd be interested in?
Yeah.
Emily's all 150%.
It's very fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you would for sure go on anything.
Anything.
They put you on
Naked and Afraid.
I'm going to see him on Chopped.
He's
I'm
on
like,
Love Island.
This guy doesn't know how to cook.
I mean, listen, at this point, what's the Golden Bachelor?
Oh my,
Golden Bachelor? That'd be iconic.
Oh my gosh.
Put me on Love Island.
Yeah.
Put
they're
me
like,
Too Hot to Handle.
This bachelor, it's like in Shrek. They're like, this bachelor comes with a CPAP machine.
So mean.
Behind door number 2, we have a bad hip. And no, that'd be so funny.
Gosh.
Okay. What do you wish people knew about but don't in regards to the logistics of filming something like this?
What do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if that word means either. No, I'm just kidding. The logistics. Like, going on to the show, how long we're filming, the logistics of getting there, like the process, like a little bit more into the process. So like we go on the show, what do you think? I think when I was watching Squid Game, the challenge season 1, that I'm like, these guys are just having fun, messing around in the dorm all day. Yeah. And I don't feel like that was my experience in Squid Game, the challenge season 2. I feel like we were constantly on edge, and they mess with you mentally so much because, like we said, you don't know what time of day it is. You don't know how much sleep you're getting. It's not a lot. There's a lot of filming that happens, but you're constantly being shuttled from place to place.
Right.
And we also did not play games at the same time every day. So it wasn't like you wake up and you're like, there's a game in the morning. It was so random. So you could be like, oh, well, yes, we're not going to play a game tonight. And then that night you're like, what? They're shuffling us in after dinner? Like, horrified. So scared.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that you just weren't, at least I wasn't aware of. You think that you're watching a half-hour television show, television show, and like, oh, everything happened within a half hour, an hour. When really it took 8, 9, 10, 11 hours to film one game.
And it really does take that long. It's not like they're doing all these cuts and stuff, because we had learned, all of us, from watching TikToks, that for Squid Game, the challenge season 1 with red light, green light.
8 hours.
Yep.
People were so, and again, if you don't know this, you need to find out, because there was that poor girl that did the squat, remember?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And everyone
yeah,
was like, you can't hold a squat for 30 seconds. You're lazy. You're a loser. You really need it. And she had been holding that for over 45 minutes. So these things take so much time. And that's the crazy thing. You'll have this crazy adrenaline high going in, finding out what the game is, knowing what's about to happen. And then, 5 hours later, it's your turn to play, or
That's
you're
right.
up. And that messes with you mentally, too. You don't want to go to the bathroom. You're scared to pee. You're scared to drink. You don't want to eat too much before. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, or you're having a great day for whatever reason, and then they tell you, okay, everyone line up. You're putting your squid vests on.
Yeah.
And that's when you know
That's when you
something's
know
going
it's
down.
getting real.
Yeah, when you get squibbed up, and people did talk about this a little bit from season 1, it is heavy. It is like this heavy, like you're like, and day 1 they put us on it before we even walked into the
Oh,
dorms.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And we were just like, oh my gosh, this is happening. It's surreal the first time you get mic'd up. They're like, now remember, sweetie, we're listening. We're listening. I remember at one point I got pulled out for something just for a couple minutes, and I was like, am I in trouble? And they were like, yeah, you broke our bleep button, remember? They were like, quit fucking cussing
Oh
in
my
there.
God, we cursed
yeah,
so
I cussed a lot.
And that was
much.
the other thing that I kind of regret too, because I was like, that's just my
Same.
normal manner of speaking, but maybe we're not going to get airtime because they're
Exactly.
like, how many? She can't even get through a conversation. She is foul. Cut her out. But that was kind of funny. But did you have the goal going in, Alex, to form alliances, or did you have any type of strategy?
You know,
Zero?
it's funny. So speaking of our buddy Eric, he actually called me after the show, and he asked me that question, and I said,
Why did he care?
yeah, I don't know. Actually, great question.
Get a life, Eric. It's
Get
over.
a life, dude. But the answer is no. First of all, I didn't realize we needed to form alliances. Well, you really don't need to, because I think you mentioned it earlier too. The games are so. It's like everything
Yeah.
is chance.
Sometimes
It's
you
so
need them,
chance.
sometimes you don't. And as we found out, you think you're lined up as a group, and then they cut your group
That's
down
right.
the middle and cut half of them out anyway.
That's right. I
Okay.
remember you're like, you're going to be the team captain. I'm like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I don't remember saying that. I never would have put my trust in you.
Great.
I'm like, it's past his
Team
bedtime.
captain for what?
After 6 p.m., he's useless to
Pentathlon.
all of us.
Oh.
When we're lining up,
Yeah.
and she's like, you need to.
Oh,
be the
that's
team
true.
Oh.
But you were coming in with like you know what? Alex actually said something great in pentathlon that I won't forget. So we were trying to decide what to do, and we had a few players that were like, I'm not like you. They were like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I'm like, okay, you guys are going to have to pick something to do, though, you know? And I obviously have no room to speak now, knowing what happened, because I was like, pick something. I mean, everyone has to pick something. But Alex said, if we choose one thing correctly, it needs to be throwing stone, because he said the amount of time it would take to hop back and get it in between.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he got throwing stone and got it on the first try. So
Wow,
that
look
was
at
great.
you.
But that was actually excellent, because ball in the cup.
One shot.
Yeah. One shot Joe. It's just like ball in the cup.
Try again,
you could
try
do
again,
that
try
over and yeah, and there's nothing anyone else can do, and the team isn't involved. But
Yeah.
throwing stone, if you had to keep backtracking, that was another funny thing you guys won't realize. You're thinking that, like, remember when we couldn't figure out how to walk with the
Oh, that's
handcuffs
right.
on?
Yeah.
So you start walking and you think it's going to be like left, right, but no, someone else's left is your right and your right is their left, and it actually doesn't work. Like you're like, so we
Yeah,
just kind of
you
were
have to go
hobbling
1, 2.
along.
Yeah.
Some people were doing that on their hands and jumping thing, and then at the end when we were crossing that finish line, it was all hell broke loose. People were dragging people along, like we were just like hurtling over. It was so fun. Yeah. Okay. Now, who was the biggest wild card in the game to you, and someone who totally surprised you? Like, who were you like, what? Like, this person made it farther than I thought, or somebody who just surprised you in general with their
Britt,
skills?
you surprised me, Brett. You know, Britt, she became such a good friend of mine in the game. And again, this is a woman from Utah.
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey. Very, very different. And they throw you together, and all of a sudden you've got this little group of people that become so close to Britt, Sean, Levi, some of the people we mentioned before. So, I mean, you're super athletic. I remember she said to me, oh, I CrossFit. I'm like, you don't CrossFit. She's like, watch me do a handstand push-up. I'm like,
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
do a handstand push-up. And then she's up against the wall doing handstand
Were you there for that?
push-ups.
No.
Yeah, but then he did belittle me after, and he was like, oh, you did a kipping one.
Kipping,
He
totally.
was like, oh, kipping. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, you know, and there were some older folks that, like, legitimately older folks that
Like
were
70s.
Yeah, like
Let's
limping
not forget my pistol
around.
squats either. I can pistol squat any
Can't
day.
That's
pistol
insane.
squat.
Both legs.
Yeah.
Just that.
So those are the folks that I can't
Yeah,
even
the older
imagine going
people-
on to the show at that age.
Yeah.
We talked about what was his name again?
Bob.
Bob.
Oh,
I mean, Bob's, he
both
struggled when we were
Bobs.
playing catch.
We all
he
agreed
was
too. We did
struggling.
have a nice group though. I swear, until Mingle, everyone was so cordial. Like
Oh,
we
yeah,
all were
for
like,
sure.
I wouldn't go
Yeah.
out of my way to
Yeah,
personally hurt someone. I wouldn't go out of my. I genuinely feel like the whole population was like that. And then Mingle was like, that changed everything for everyone. But Bob, we had all agreed in our bunk member. We were like, if someone gets an advantage, it's gonna go to Bob. Bob wanted the money for his only daughter. He wanted to give her like an inheritance, and I was
That's
like,
so sweet.
Sweetest guy in the
I was
world.
like, even my heart's thawing a little bit right now. Okay, did I cry in the game at all?
I
Oh
would
yeah. I
say
had a mental
yeah.
breakdown in the hall. I literally forgot about that. Wait, was that the only time though? When they had to drag me out of the hall crying?
I mean, there was that time, but I feel like there might have been more than one time.
Let me
You have to wait and
think.
see.
My husband said that. He's like, "You're gonna cry," and I was like, "No, I won't." And then I did. Okay. Was there any moment you almost quit?
No.
Because we haven't talked about this. No.
No,
You
I
were
re-
gonna stay in
He
it,
would
come hell or
never.
high water.
No, I would never quit. And what's funny is, and this definitely won't get aired because I was F-bombing like crazy. After Mingle, we talked about it, right? I played pretty calm, pretty cool. I'm going to be stoic. I'm going to be Alex. I'm not going to change. After Mingle, I was like, I'm blowing this fucking place up. When I get back to that dorm, no one's fucking safe. And then we played marbles, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a chance to go off.
You
but I
choked
was
on a
ready.
marble.
Yes.
Turns out.
Yes. I didn't have a chance to go off. I really wanted to.
Oh, that would have been so funny. He's the oldest player in the game, and then he's like forgets what game it is and is trying to eat him, and they're like, no, give me that. That's mine. Okay. Worst or weirdest sleeping habits? We all saw some weird shit
You
going
talking
on
about
with the
mine
sleeping.
personally, or?
No, like in the dorms.
Okay.
Because we know you didn't sleep and I didn't sleep.
There was a guy, and I forget his name. He's a great guy too. I mean,
The band guy.
not the
the-
band guy.
What did they call him? The Night Stalker.
There was a guy that was walking around,
my
yes,
God.
taking people's
With his-
blankets or
no,
something
he-
like that.
He literally, he looked like a toddler because his hair was like all muffed up like this, and he was like an '80s band guy, and then he was carrying around
Yeah,
his,
you're right.
his blankie under his arm.
So weird.
Yeah,
What was
you're right.
The other guy,
And
you
it
guys
was
made fun of my
so
hair.
Mark was
funny.
such a snorer, and I
Yeah.
slept right next to him.
Was he a snorer?
Yeah.
The way, even though I wouldn't be sleeping, snoring like sets me off. I would have been like, they
Oh,
just
yeah.
have me going over there with a pillow.
The noises, the
Oh,
smells.
The
It's-
smells.
yeah, it's-
The smells. People talked about that season 1, and no, it's true. And the other thing was, I thought the dorms were going to be kind of cold. I can sleep better in the
Same.
cold.
No,
it was
they were fine.
hot.
It was warm.
They gave us
in
long
there.
johns. I never wore them. Did you wear them?
No, I didn't
Like,
wear them.
What do you mean they want us
The
to
white-
us to
the
sleep?
Like the
white
long
little-
underwear.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, we didn't need that. But
No.
there was the other guy with the hair that did not move. I mean, that was perfect. I forget that guy's
Oh
name.
yes, he was
What
the one. Yeah.
is his name?
Austin?
Yes.
Yes. They were just in a dueling habit. They would just look at each other in the bathroom mirror.
How dare you, Austin, with
Who
that
has
hair?
better hair?
He's like,
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Okay. Who did you trust the most, and who did you trust the least?
Huh. Great. Britt, you're up there for sure. Sean, 100% up there. Levi, the sweetest guy you've ever met. Firefighter, Air Force dude, the greatest. Least was Eric. There was a moment in time, it's Claire and I are sitting there, and he's talking about, it's somebody's birthday, and he goes on to say it's his birthday, and like, Claire and I are like,
That's weird.
Nah, that's very weird. And then he said he had a baby on the way, and he was kind of mumbling his words, and then he said he was one of like several children that were.
Wait,
Right?
he had some crazy story. Remember that he was adopted, and he had like
Oh, yeah, he had a
390
wild story.
siblings in the world or
He's so
something, and it was
silly.
all just made up.
There were just too many.
Yeah, we can't be mad
stories.
because he is kind of iconic, but
He's Yeah,
yeah, no,
zero
100%.
trustworthy. And unfortunately, I do feel like that has to bleed into your real life. There's no way you can go into
I
something
don't
like this and
think
keep
so.
that up the
No,
whole
you
time.
don't think so?
No, I think that he just had a little bit he wanted to play, and he played
Maybe.
it, and it was just for the show.
But I feel like if you could play that bit for a show, you could play that bit for anything that you want to kind of get out of
Yes.
people.
That is
Yes.
true, because I did go in being like, I'm not telling anyone my job, and I'm like, guess what I do for a living, everybody?
I'm a CEO
Yeah.
of a meat company.
I actually have a private jet. I don't know
do
if you know
not
I
have a
drive
private
a
jet.
Porsche. It's just like one of my cars, like my Ferrari. Yeah. I feel like it's a little weird. Like the thing with Eric, like I wasn't personally offended by it. He apologized to me afterwards, and I was like, I don't care. Like you did what you had to do. That was your
We
strategy.
break
Thought
his
he was
chops,
silly.
but who cares?
Yeah.
But my thing, which we kind of touched on earlier, was that if you're being your true self and sharing real things, and then somebody's playing you, and you find out afterwards, it
Yeah,
is
it's a
kind of
terrible
like
It does
feeling.
hurt.
because
Yeah.
I had a very traumatic experience with my daughter and her birth, as a lot of people know. And Kurt was sharing his experiences with their children as well, and it's like really sad. And he asked me, he's like, my girlfriend's pregnant, and like, you know, what can I do for her postpartum to help her things? And was asking me all these details about my daughter and her birth, and it's a deeply traumatic experience. And I share a little bit, and then I find out he doesn't have a pregnant girlfriend. Like, why did you take 30 minutes
Right,
to take
Yeah.
that out of me? Why did you pull that out of me for nothing? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So
Justin
okay.
broke my heart a little bit too. We buried the hatchet, but and
Yeah.
again, it was in the moment. But you know, he loved us, we loved him, and then we kind of went our separate ways.
Yeah.
There was only 2 people that surprised me. Well, the twins, I thought we were Jay chillin', and then really they were like, Emily's a flirt, and I'm like, yeah, I am,
She's
but like
a
not
pervert.
with y'all.
She
Not
is a
with
pervert.
y'all. And then I thought we were on great terms, and then I get out, we were at the bar, and then I hugged her, And the first thing she said was, I think that's the first time that I think you're being genuine with me.
Oh,
You said something like that.
Wow.
And I was like, taken aback. I was like, no, I've always liked you.
No.
Because I really did.
Yeah. There was something about your personality. Like, it felt like your guard was
I
down
was
a little
drunk.
bit. But, like, I felt like, and I think really
you guys were
it
ripping
is.
shots. I remember that.
Yeah. I really do think it was like them in the hotel. I
Yeah.
really do. I know. I went down there and I was like, who was the guy that was crawling under the table? I went down. I had one beer. I was so scared to drink because I was like, I haven't had alcohol, caffeine, anything.
Oh, we were
I haven't
getting
been
it
sleeping.
down.
And
Yeah,
I had the
Leon was
same
getting
beer for
down.
2 days. I brought it
August.
back down and was just drinking the same warm beer
Oh my
that I had up in the
gosh.
room from the
No,
day before.
Leon was like trying to outdo me, and I was like, I'm gonna outdo you, Leon.
Yeah.
And then Leon got so drunk. I'd never seen him like that. It was a blast.
And then he chipped his tooth on your pool.
Oh my
He
god.
did. Yeah,
That
he
was
did.
crazy. Okay. I wanted to
Hold
ask
on, it's
you.
4:32.
I wanted to ask you about the food and eating breakfast. Like,
Mm.
you really didn't eat any breakfast ever? Did you eat it at all?
Yes, I did.
I don't remember.
I did. I forced myself, but when they give you that tin, I don't know how much is in there. If I had a quarter of it, that would be a lot. I just knew I had to get something down.
Yes,
But Emily,
that was the same. I was just literally like,
Not a
drink,
bite.
scoop,
It's
drink, scoop.
wet, sloppy, thick mucus.
Booger. It's just booger.
One thing people don't think about either that we kind of touched on that I wanted to bring up real quick was we talked about the sitting on the concrete and the sitting. There is so much standing involved for hours at a time. They prep you for that too. I do feel like they did a great job making you realize, are you sure this is for you? Are you going to be okay mentally, physically? They talk a lot about like, are you mentally strong enough for this? Have you had a situation like they really go?
Yeah,
they
you
go in
don't-
depth with
You
the
don't
interview
realize
process.
why they're asking those questions. But you know what I thought was cool? Even though we didn't have very much downtime, when we had downtime, it got like real creative. We were creating all different games.
Yeah.
Like balling socks together or taking our tins and playing,
And I do
shuffleboard
hope they
with it.
show like bloopers of that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
was really fun.
That was
People
fun.
would love to see that. That was really fun.
Mhm.
And like low key, like, is my rap gonna be featured or is that like?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I wanted to
Is that
mention
like a copyright thing? Like,
well,
'cause of
you
Harry
talk about
Potter?
Harry Potter, so
Oh, that's
I don't think
right.
that.
Because I wrote it for the Goblet of Fire movie.
Well, does Netflix stream Harry Potter's? Then
Yes,
maybe.
they do.
Then maybe you're
forgot
fine.
Get that
your
Warner Brothers
rap.
rights.
And I hope that
forgot about
I hope they air your rap, and I hope they air my rap. But I didn't rap to the whole dorm because Leon was part of my rap, and Leon was like, "I'm not rapping in front of everyone."
I didn't even know that you
Oh my god, I
rapped.
had a
I didn't
rap.
know you
I had a
rapped
great
either.
rap.
And I wrote a Squid Game rap, but I'm not
It
gonna
was
be
my Squid
releasing
Game
it.
rap.
Oh, you did one too?
I did a Squid Game rap.
Do you have it? Off the
I
top
have
of
it. I have it in my notes app.
Do you want to do it?
Not really.
Do
But,
it,
but
do
I'll say
it.
the lyrics. I'll say the lyrics. I
Now's
don't
your
remember.
time to shine, Emily.
Mhm.
Big
No.
Brother is watching.
Yeah,
Hi,
they
Big
are.
Brother. Have
wanna
fun. I'll write a Big Brother rap. No, but I don't remember the tune. But it was like, we're in the Squid Game, number not a name, not in it for the fame. We're gonna win this game. This is so insane. Must mean we're not lame. Got too much to gain. Not getting on that plane. Takes a lot of courage to eat that porridge. Killed it in the jeggy. Gonna break that piggy. Even beat the stupid game of catch the ball. Didn't even have to see that turnaround, doll.
Okay, so you remembered too. You
That's pretty
remember
good.
like lyrics because you did this without your phone in there.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, and that's what people kept asking me. I was like, no, I memorized shit. Like
Yeah. I'm
have
good at
the-
it.
Justin just the other day, he was like, we have to update our Netflix thing because we don't have that card anymore. You went and got a new debit card, and I'm like in there. He's like, you've had that for 8 hours and you already have the memory. I was like,
Yeah, I'm
I know
great at
everyone's like,
memorizing
don't ever
lyrics.
tell me your social security number. I
That's
will
a
have
gift.
that clocked. Like
That's so funny.
it's so crazy. Okay, so as far as the breakfast thing, but what I was gonna get back to
Yep.
was the concrete and the sitting down. You don't realize how much standing and sitting, and when you're sitting on that concrete floor, and you're just constantly all day, you're adjusting, your hips hurt, you're like, I had bruises from sitting for so long when I got home, and then I remember the first meal I had when I was actually home. I sat down. Justin handed me this big plate of food, and I sat down on the floor, and he literally was like,
What are you doing?
"What
for?
are you doing?" And I ate like that for like a week.
That's
Like, it's so
wild.
weird that I didn't want to sit in a chair. It just didn't feel right to me. I was like, no, crisscross applesauce.
Oh
I'm
my
like
God,
down
so
there like
true.
That's crazy.
a psychopath. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. So when did I wanted to ask you, Alex, because so many things are foggy. When did we form an alliance?
It's so funny you should say that because things are very foggy. I feel like it was very early on. Like,
I think so too. Because like, okay, wait. Well, X and O.
yeah.
I don't really remember
'Cause
talking
I
to
feel
an
like
X and
we were
O.
calling you over. Like, I thought we were.
There was a
part
ton
of
of people
reason.
calling me over, to be honest.
Obviously.
Like, no, but really there was like 15 people that were like, Britt, and I'm like sitting there being like, I may be making a mistake here. Like, this is a
Yeah,
pivotal
yeah,
moment
yeah.
of deciding, and I did go over it, but
It's
I
the same
didn't.
with Sean. I don't remember the exact moment.
Yeah.
Like when Sean was part of our alliance. But then we all slept together. Not slept together, sorry, but in the same
Yeah,
general area.
we bunked together. So
Yes.
we had, yeah, and then obviously pentathlon was our first game,
Yeah.
and that really cemented like the Sean, the Debbie, all the friendships and everything. Okay, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
We all talked about this so many times. We're like, how are we gonna go home and talk to our people about this and even explain it. And we all were like, we're gonna immediately when we get our phones back, we're gonna be like day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I was on the airplane. I remember, and I was just like blanking already. Like I was like, what day did that happen? When did this happen? Because you're in there and you have no concept of time. You really don't. It's so trippy. It's so weird. Okay, Alex, thanks for coming on, sharing your wildest stories, and giving us a behind-the-scenes look at what it's really like to play the game. I'm so glad we got to laugh about it, hash out some drama, and maybe even clear the air a little bit. Thanks for joining us on a reality TV deep dive. Until next time, this is Girl
Wait,
Hacked.
I have a gift for you.
Amazing, thank you.
Chat soon, babes. Oh, you want to show something?
I have a gift for
Let's
you.
see.
I have a gift for you guys too. It's absolutely nothing, but it's a thought.
Cute. It's a little cute.
Come on, you watch this, guys. Look how old I am.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's actually
Isn't
so
that
cute.
fun?
Come on, it's
Read it to him. He doesn't know how to
It's
read
a,
it.
What's it say here?
Thank you for playing with me.
Amazing.
Isn't that cute? And it's a handshake.
You're the best.
That's so cute.
Give me that.
Wait, do we have
Thank
ours in? Go grab the mingle box that
Okay,
I got.
I have it.
I brought you guys a gift. Don't open it here. It's too messy. But you have to show
Is
the
it really
box.
messy?
Okay.
It's gonna
It's
explode
a,
on
it's
me?
a squib. It's gonna explode.
Ink?
No, just kidding. No, but look at these. Hook it through on the top. When you see what I fit in there, you'll be like, "How'd you fit it in that box?" That's what she said. But
Hot
but look-
potatoes.
but look, it's a little mingle box with a little
Is it
leather.
really messy? It's
With a little leather thing. It's so cute. Yeah, it's a snake's gonna come out and just.
We can't
No.
open it yet.
Just wait. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that was so fun,
That was
right?
so fun.
Do you guys like being on podcasts?
I love it.
I loved it.
Literally
Let's
the
go.